Welcome back to Wickerson Studios. Michael Wickerson here. We are going to actually take off where we left off, and you'll see I had some data visualization here, which was this cool little geometry. And I think I'll take that and probably just take it to invisible. Turn down my volume so I'm not interrupting myself. And we are going to start showing you why, instead of just making gene pools and numbers and dealing with trees and data trees, you will want a Numpy component. And the main point is vectorization, or running through, pretty complex scripts with a lot of data in them. Things like functions, or like certain things you want to manipulate or work with arrays with one another. But the first thing to start with, very simple, is let's just grab all this data here and let's copy it and drag it down here, and we'll get ready for another visualization. But what we want to talk about now, and we don't want to jump into this screen, we want to head back over to Visual Studio Code. We want to talk about scaling an n-dimensional array. So that's exactly what we're going to do to this. So we're going to go in here and we're going to scale the NumPy array, and we're just going to call it scaling an n-dimensional array. And that's how we're going to start. And we're not going to need this array that's here. We're going to change that, and you're going to see how we can multiply it and do some wonderful things. And once again, with GitHub Copilot running here, scaling an n-dimensional array and writing this to a hops component is as easy as, assuming that we're ready to go, and assuming that we actually have the internet and everything is, there we go. We are going to start writing that, and this will probably be called scale. It will run through name at scale, description, and you can see how simple this really is, and you can do this yourself if you want to dip into it. I am going to just double check my past scripts, because when I initially did this and I've left it, I was working with creating a list and then using for loops to handle the data and outputting lists that really weren't tree structures. So I at least want to maintain the different levels of the arrays. We'll stick with a 4x4 array to start, but let's jump in here, and start with our array list. We'll have a second array scaling factor, and that's what it's going to do. It's going to create an array from a list. And let me just think about this. I might want to have rows and columns. But if we take this from 3 different lists to start, I think that's exactly what we're going to do. And I'm going to call it array 1. And we're going to start back here. And we're going to bring in array 1, array 2, and array 3. And then we're going to bring in a hops number as scale, and that will close the function. So we're kind of playing off the script we had before us. We're going to slowly work up 4x4 arrays, because that's what I really want to get happening. We are going to output those arrays, and because there's 3 of them, we're going to bring them right back out afterwards. Seems redundant, but as you get into bigger and bigger data, you're going to see that this is a pretty cool, let me get rid of that. You'll see that you want to do something, and the earliest, fastest operation you can do on it is scaling. So that's what we're going to do. And it's going to write the script and get that out of the way. There it is, array 1, 2, 3. I'm printing the array, I'm printing the type array, I'm scaling the array, I'm typing it, I'm printing it after that. And then one thing to do down here, so we don't confuse it with past script, is just clear it. You can see that we're taking it to list, and then we're going to output all 3 so we can play with them as tree information. So this is the point, that the scaling happens here. It's not happening in the Grasshopper window. Of course, you could just add a multiplier, and you're like, Mike, why am I trying to do this? Well, it's the same reason why people stay with Rhino and don't go to Grasshopper, because they're like, I can do it faster just with Rhino. Well, that's to a point until you get really parametric and computational in what you're doing, and you need to script a little more. Same thing when you put it into the GH Python node or the C# node, but now we want to work in Visual Studio Code and tap into the Python 3.0 libraries, NumPy specifically. So that should be enough to get us up and running. We can take it from here, and with a little save and an F5, we'll run it. As long as I'm online and everything's fun. Got my internet protocol. and I will pull down the only node I need, which is the hops node. And I've got young kids that are having fun on a Sunday, yelling and screaming at one another. We'll take this up to NumPy scale, which makes a nice little parametric factor, a nice little component that does it all for us and keeps the data structure in order. And we'll take the scale from 0.01 to 3.00. And we'll just have that. And that's not any reason why you want to do that, but I'm just thinking of actually dealing with geometries. So that's a good one. And you can see that we have the data processing here. One thing to remember as you debug, take off your cache, periodically clear your cache over here. And I think we're good. Close that. And we should be able to see that we have a pretty wonderful tool that can scale our numbers up all the way at a very fast pace. Just take a look at that window over on the left, and that's why you want to play with this. So we'll just take it up to a scale 1.5 factor, and I think I will actually use my edit snapping and have it snap at 1.5. If you haven't ever done that, that's always nice to do, because then when you're sliding around, it'll snap right to that 1.5. And there you go. You have your original array, which is over here, and you have it multiplied over here to what it exactly would be, and you saw the speed at which that was writing. So let's just take our call, NumPy scale. Let's right click and put it into the hops, bypass the need for an icon, and give some people some tips in case they have to reload this and remake it every time they go back in. That's a bug I don't like, but it actually gets you practicing and makes you consider not to use somebody else's script, but actually build your own script as you're making this happen. And that's I wonder if the development will go farther than that. But right now you can see we have a nice scale factor. To these factors, we can throw it in any type of randomization, and we can pull these numbers back over here. I'm just going to grab another copy of that just for fun, and I could do a call back to it. You can take a look. Now we have some really wonderful scale factors and processing very quickly as we do a randomization. You get all your new scripts, and over here we have all of our multipliers, and you see the speed at which things run when you're dealing in NumPy. And that's the reason you want to do this, all the way up to 3. Wonderful, powerful tool. I think I'll end with that. The next thing we want to look at is adding 2 3D arrays, and we'll just continue this, and you'll see the speed at which NumPy gains all of its momentum and really has an asset to what you're ending up doing. I'm not building a geometry with this, but I will do that in between. What I'm doing is showing how to write the scripts, get it up and running, and then in between, before we start the next one, I'm building a bit of a geometry that can be very fun when you end up pulling it back out and thinking about what you're doing over in Rhino geometrically. Because the whole point is to go from NumPy and possibly pandas into instead of the matplotlib library, but building geometric models that will carry forth what you're doing. So our script's getting fairly large. It's looking pretty good. When I finish this first one, I'll publish it at www.wickersonstudios.com. May put it over on my Patreon, and we're really going to tighten up this script. I just thought it would be more fun to do it together live. Anyway, stop recording.